Welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days, and I swear
I didn't
you
even
just
see
waited. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I didn't.
So we're starting, and we do our normal routine for how we start a podcast, and then Justin's like, "Oh, hang on a sec, let me check something." And so he's checking stuff. I doubt it because the second I'm like, "Okay, he's checking. Okay, he's checking. Okay, it's gonna take a few more seconds. I'm gonna get a drink of water. Be all totally prepped."
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I'm at that stage of drinking where it's the point of no return, I have to finish. I can't interrupt it. That's when he does the intro. So I swear he was just pretending to do it.
When I started, I was on audition at the time. So, hey, I would have had it up if stupid Discord would let me hit the button that stays on top and have it work, but it doesn't.
Dude, they're your problems with your GBs and your Wiffies.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just don't care. Anyway, welcome to episode 312. Forever Exiled, here we are. Patrons, thank you everybody who resubbed up this week. Patreon is access to After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast where we just keep talking about stuff and things. And appreciate your support. We love your faces. How's your week, friend?
I had one, that's for sure.
That's always good.
I don't remember. We ask this every week, and you think I'd be more prepped. I had a day yesterday, but this week was good. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better after we put our lifelong dog down. It was pretty emotional for a few days, but got over it a lot fast. Not over it, but feeling a lot more stable. Totally easy to talk about it and laugh about it and make fun of her. Make fun of the dog instead of you go and come up with a joke and they're like, sure. That was only a few days. So this week was really nice to talk and reminisce. But then also we have 2 kittens that are just the dumbest but cutest things on the planet. And so it's just been a good week, and the weather completely cooled down, which was really nice. And kids are having a good week. So yeah, I can't think of anything, but it was a really good week. Yesterday was a day.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes, tell me.
I'm just doing my regular chores, right? And I realized the grass feels different. We're used to now our 30-degree summers, so grass is typically dormant now, right? It's just a lot of grasses are going to be brown, and life goes on. Well, my grass looks and feels different. And so I just bend down and I just take a handful of the dormant grass and just lifts up. The whole pad just lifts right. I'm like,
is this the pad where it was dead, where you were seeing the dead spots? Is this where it was happening?
Well, that's right. Because normally it's what can I do? My grass, it's not dead. It's just dormant. Don't worry about it. And that's the case. For some reason this year, a massive part of my front lawn just decided to die instead of go dormant. I have no idea why or how. It's done. So thank you. You lent me your grass scraper.
Dethatcher.
What do we call it? Yes, thank you. Dethatcher. Grass scraper is such a good one.
Grass scraper. That's way better.
And it worked fantastic. But I basically have only lawn where it's shady, under the magnolia tree and close to the side of the house. It's always shady. Yeah, I did it on the deepest one.
Yeah, which is
which is a centimeter, right?
Yep.
But I only did 1 pass. I wasn't going to do 2 passes because I didn't want to put it directly in the dirt. I just wanted it above, but there was so little left that it was just small little splotches, probably dead, but still with a thick root. So anyway, I did that, but it's almost all gone. And I knew that would kill me for the day, medically. I can't just do spontaneous work. For me, that's heavy work with the medical limitations that I have. And then how was it? The reason that I chose to do it the day that I discovered is because this coming week is absolutely perfect for reseeding lawns. If you're going to overseed or prep it for winter or spring, this coming week and a half is phenomenal for it. And you'll almost never need to water your lawn, which is, that's where the majority of the work comes outside of the first day. And I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to do that anyway, just because it looked like crap. But now it's if I don't, the lawn's going to be such a pain in the butt in the springtime because of how the snow will just soak in the soil and make it muddy. And I'm like, oh man, this sucks. So I kind of felt, and then, in the fall, you're not fighting weeds. And in the springtime, that's what you're doing. And the weeds have everywhere to grow in my front lawn now. So I'm like, man.
Is the front or the back? This is the back front, isn't it?
No, it's the front.
Oh.
The back's all shade. So it's always going to be fine. And I'm like, man, I'm not ready for this. I need a few days to prepare for the big laborious stuff that I need to do. And then I have to plan the next few days after to be not so Is it laborious? That sounds so good. Is it laborious? Sounds like I'm making it up, but also fancy. So anyway, so then I'm like, all right, fine. So I ask you, and you're very kind. You're willing to accommodate right away. And so I pick it up, come home, and but I pick it up from your place with a loaner car from the mechanic shop because our car was getting fixed again for something that's been driving me nuts for forever. And I can't get the stupid hatch to open. Nothing that I can do can open the hatch. Nothing. Absolutely nothing can open the hatch. I'm like, a courtesy car where it's like, it's a Matrix. So it's like one of the tall but short cars. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect for this dethatcher. And I'm like, oh, so I had to put it in the front seat to wiggle it in my front seat. And now that's like it's way extra work for me. And I'm already like going to be low on it, on energy level. So I'm like, man, I can't, my shoulders can't handle this. My knees can't, my back can't, my neck can't, my head can't. And my energy. And so anyway, I go and I take it back and I do the work. And then we're waiting for the car to come back, right? For the mechanics to call us. And it's getting near the end of the day. The kids are coming home, but it's newspaper day. And my son had a horrible nightmare that seemed so real. And he was sobbing about it, where they got kidnapped while they were doing newspapers. And they just started doing newspapers on their own, right? So that's one of those things where you tag along for like this week, next week, until he feels better about it. So like we had to do that. But now I'm spent and I'm beat, and it's not safe for me to drive anymore with the restrictions that I have. And so my wife's the one that's got to do all the driving around that we need to do. But I'm waiting for the important phone call of picking up our car. And if I stay at home, I am going to fall asleep. Like I could barely stay awake. So I'm walking with them, spending the energy I shouldn't, but it's better than falling asleep and missing the call to pick up the car. While we're walking, my wife receives a phone call from her parents, my in-laws, saying that their accommodations for staying in our town this week fell through. Are we available? The answer is obviously yes, they're always welcome, but we're not prepared. So then I walk back home, and now I'm making the room nice and the bathroom nice, but that's still more energy than I couldn't spend before. And my poor in-laws, they felt so bad, but like, it just happened on the worst day that it could have happened for me health-wise. And then what happened? Oh, right. The call never came through for the mechanic shop. I called them. They're like, it's probably going to be tomorrow morning. And I'm like, no problem. But we were waiting because we didn't want to put the mileage on the Matrix so that we wouldn't have to pay for gas. So then all the chores that we were going to do that day, like running around to the bookstore and doing a few other things. And then, of course, a couple extra things we had to add to accommodate my in-laws, like making sure we had fresh loofahs and soap and shampoo and stuff. Go out and get all that. We're at Walmart. And I'm like, oh, you can't use the hatch. Don't worry about it. She's like, what are you talking about? Hatch opens up. I'm like, you witch.
Just take some muscle, Ty.
It's not muscle. She like stared at it and it opened. She's like, there's like a button here. And I'm like, the button didn't work. It locked it every time. It didn't like unlock it. I held it. I like double tapped it. I single tapped. Nothing I could do. I went inside and I'm like, spent half an hour trying to find the stupid latch button when I was at your place for the back of the Matrix. And I'm like, all it does is lock it. It's not unlocking. I couldn't, there was nothing I could do. I'm trying all these combos and nothing's unlocking it. Anyway, she could unlock it. So this morning when I dropped off the Matrix and picked up our car, which is running like a dream again, it's awesome. I'm like, so, hey, and I told him the story. I'm like, it's either your trunk is broken and only wives can open it up, or I'm useless. And I highly doubt it's the second one. So fix your trunk. And we laugh about stuff. So he's all good.
I know the guys there.
Yep. And so, but that was great. But then anyway, we come back and so it was a day. So now I'm looking and I wanted to buy dirt for the front lawn, right? Because I know if I lay seed now, trying to seed it, and it is perfect weather, the birds are going to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like, do I go out and I spend $60 on dirt just to cover the seed? That's another day of like energy that I do not have.
Did
like,
you seed already?
Dude, it's 11:11. It's 11:22. No, it's not, but it's going to make me feel way better. I have a nice centimeter here of, I didn't even look. Of whatever my father-in-law brought.
Nice.
It's 1.5 inches of Scotch or Scotch whiskey, whatever blend or single malt he brought. I don't
whatever
even know.
Tastes good.
Yeah. And I've been running around like crazy this morning doing the grocery shopping because I didn't want to do it yesterday in the courtesy car because I couldn't get the hatch open, which miraculously only works for my wife. But I wasn't going to ask her to come along to do the grocery shopping because she already had a big day. So that was my day. But it's been fantastic.
Pretty much been the whole
First world problems, man. First world problems.
True. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are doing well. And you get some family to visit. That's always fun.
It is. It is. How about you, man? How was your week?
My week I had a good week. It was busy with work wise, but it was good. We had 2 events the week before, so this was nice to get back to actually doing work and dealing with work. What else did we do this week? I started walking this week.
Okay.
I figured, well, I can't exercise and it frustrates me because I love to work out, but I just can't with my back. Haven't been able to now for over a year. So I'm like, I need to walk. So I'm going to start walking. So I drive myself to the park nearby and I do laps around the park. And my goal is 10,000 steps. I'm hitting around 8,000 right now per day, but it's been fun. I've actually really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I went the first day by myself. And then I've gone a couple times with Christina. We've gone once with all the kids, which was a massive disaster. Should never do that. I'm like, I'm walking. I don't care what the rest of you do. Don't get lost. Don't walk away with strangers, but I'll see you when I'm done.
I love that you driving to somewhere to walk.
I can't walk there because I can't do hills. So I don't have any choice but to drive there.
You live in the wrong area of the world for no hills.
But there's lots of areas around us that are flat, but where I live, I legit can't go left or right without hitting a hill.
You got to legit live on the flats.
Yeah, and
like
I don't.
In the drowned out lake too.
Yeah, I don't.
Because we're in the Rockies, man. We're at the edge of the valley, but like it's hills and mountains everywhere. I remember
but you can drive to flat spots.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah. I remember once when I went to, I've been out in the Lower Mainland for forever. But I went back to Hamilton to do some stucco work for a while in my younger days. And I'm new there, right? I mean, I've been there tons, but I'd never actually lived there for any period of time. And so I'm like, okay, so yeah, where's the mall? Where can I get this stuff? It was before internet and phone days, right? That was when all the phones were like, you could text, but it was the T9 texting and green and black screens, right? So I'm asking where the mall is, where I can get some stuff for the next 6 months. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just up on the hill. Or no, it's up the mountain. And I'm looking around and I don't see anything. And then it's like the guy literally lowers my head and puts his hand in front of my face in an arrow just so that I can. So seriously, it wasn't even a hill. I could barely see the blip in the horizon. There was nothing. Like I couldn't even. They called it a mountain.
Yeah. It's definitely different in some of the areas that are flatter.
Our hills are like Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't live anywhere else. I love mountains around me, but I can't walk on them, so that's why I drive to a flat spot.
Good for you.
So it's been actually great. It's
can you go fast, or do you have to go fast, or can you go slow?
No, I just chill. My whole goal is to walk for about an hour and a half, and my hope is to get somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000. I'd like to get up to 10,000 steps in a day, but I stop when my back starts to hurt. So I start, and as soon as my back starts to hurt, I'm like, all right,
give me a shot. I'll join you. Because it's just chores that is interrupting, and that's now that I don't walk my kids to school and my dog's dead. Like I got to get my
it's been good
exercise in too. So, and you could be on your phone the whole time. I don't care.
I normally
use that time to read a book or write my book. So
I don't do anything. I try to get off my phone. I try to not do any work, not respond to emails, not respond to texts, and it's been great. I just chill and enjoy the walk. I went with just my 10-year-old yesterday. That's different because
all your energy is in listening.
It was awesome though. So we walked for an hour and a half. She talked for an hour and 40 minutes somehow 100%. In an hour and a half walk. But it's funny. I had moments where I was like, so I'm tuned in. I'm listening about grade 6. She's in a new school. All her friends, her birthday's coming up. What the plans are.
I forgot. She's in middle school now.
So she's walking me through everything, talking about all the stuff. And there were definitely moments where it was really good at the end when we finished up. Cause I was like, man, yes, life sometimes sucks. It's busy. You got work stuff, but holy crap. When you just listen and just exist in a kid's mind for a little bit, man, it's just so fun. It was so fun. It was so fun to listen to her just like she just did not stop talking. But I will say walking in a park with your 10-year-old is not it. I get a bit defensive too. Like there was somebody there that he just rubbed me the wrong way. The way he acted at one point when we were walking towards him, he was on a park bench, and the way he responded as we were walking towards him, he got up, moved towards us. He smiled at me, but it was odd. And I just happened to glance back over my shoulder, and he had stopped walking right after we'd walked past. Anyway, he rubbed me the wrong way. So the whole rest of the walk, now I'm staring at this guy. Oh, I was ready. And anytime that we were doing, I was shifting my daughter onto the other side of me, and I was walking between the two of us. And I was like, I'm listening to my daughter, but I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this guy to just, if he looks at us, I'm going to have it out with him. He never did. And so he probably was completely innocent. But when we got back, I was talking with Christina, and she's like, how's the walk? So I was explaining to her, I'm like, it's just way different when I'm going with the kids because I'm, nervous. And Sophia's like, do you mean like the guy in the blue jacket? Like, she had caught on to what I thought I was doing smoothly and carefully, and, not wanting to alarm my daughter about anything. She completely caught on to exactly what I was doing. So,
well, it's either you're horrible at hiding it, maybe not,
smart, man.
Or he was just bloody obvious and you've stranger dangered your kid pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know. But so anyway, I've been walking, and I've been feeling great about it. It's been a very busy week, but
good for you. And good job with the walk too. Like my joke about you being horrible about hiding it. That's just a joke. But good for you. That's exciting. Give me a shout sometime if you want some company.
Sweet. And then I've been playing when we finished watching it's the Seth Rogen show, the Studio. It was meh. There were 2 episodes that we thought were great, but I was like, well, it won all these Emmys. Let's check it out. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
Nope. I hear you.
Like there were two episodes that made me laugh. One was when they're trying to diversify and, not be racially inclined with their cast. Made me laugh through that whole episode just of, because that is very much
because you like Rush Hour. So,
well, no, but that's what it feels like. It can feel like that sometimes where you're being very careful and for no reason in the end. But so I did laugh through a few, and then we started watching Severance. We're just watching Severance now. We just started that one.
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah,
I've been told I would like it. Another Apple show for you.
Yeah, thank goodness I pay for Apple. I played. I did have a little bit of time to play, so I played some Borderlands, and so these are my only notes for the whole show that I have is at the bottom. Now, this is one thing with Borderlands that just makes me laugh, man. Like I love that they're not PC. They're not like, they don't care if they're making fun of things at all. And it's great. I think it's hilarious. Well, I was playing the game and I'm like, what keeps making these comments at me? Like, I'm trying to figure out like what is happening in the game. And it turns out it's a gun that I have. And this gun randomly will be like, so when your shield finishes filling, sometimes my gun will be like, nice shield, dork. And then randomly it'll say, you'll never climb the corporate ladder, just out of nowhere. Other times it will say, I hope you have a heart attack and die. Like stuff that this thing says.
What brand is the gun in the game?
It's a Jacobs gun, but it's a sniper, and it's just, man, that stuff just makes me laugh. I love that stuff.
That's funny. Okay, so a shield for a sniper, right?
Yeah, and
because you're supposed to not ever be seen or caught.
Yeah. It's man, funny. The stuff and I love that it's reactionary to like what's going on. Like when you're reloading, it'll mock you for running out of bullets or needing more. So
sniper thing. I think that's hilarious, and that's nice. They're still using the same brands from the first game.
Jacobs,
however the story goes.
Yeah. It's all still the same. Yeah.
I love that they have those traits. There's certain traits that are specific to each kind of brand too. I mean, it used to be based on like attack speed or damage or explosives or whatever. But yeah,
I don't think they do that anymore. But they have like where they do different things. But now it's cool because they have another item that you can get that affects based on what type of gun you have. So if you have a Jacobs or you have a Malawan or you have a COV or whatever, all these different types that they have, it affects that. So,
dude, you watch a lot of army shows. What's COV?
I don't know what it stands for. It says COV. Oh. What the hell if I know what it means?
All right, sorry.
Circle of make you virulence.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Anyway, week's good overall. Life's good. Can't complain. So
good. I'm glad to hear it. And thank you again for your kindness. Well, before we get into PoE-ish talk, we either had a discussion that I don't remember or completely forgot to discuss a private league for 326.
In PoE 1?
The last announcement that we have in our Discord is the second 325 PL, because of course that lasted a year. So we haven't done private league for 326. It was for 325. And you and I in the past agreed, I forget if it was on or off camera, so whatever, it doesn't matter, that we weren't going to do any beta private leagues. So
probably
what we
not.
originally had discussed, I don't know if you had, right, okay. So I'm the one that's concussed and dealing with, you hate taking something out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me later then to tell you something.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm the one that's concussed. I have the horrible memory for the rest of my life. But Justin's the one that remembers less than I do about our conversations.
Depends on the things. Yes, that's true.
So if I'm remembering correctly, you and I agreed to do just one private league, but we're not doing any for Path of Exile 2 until it's officially released. We're not doing any beta PLs.
Well,
but once
especially
Path of Exile 2 comes out, we're only going to do private leagues for the game we're playing, which we expect to only be Path of Exile 2. So even if you're going back to Path 1, we're not going to do PLs for Path 1. We're going to stick to PLs for Path 2 at that point. That was the idea. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I
feel like it's a fluid conversation. I don't know that there's any
right. But to do a PL once every 2 months is not something that we are going to do.
Especially if it's both games. No, that's a bit much.
That's the thing. But because it's beta right now, we're going to stick with Path 1. So we still haven't done a PL for 326.
Oh, and what comes out next? Are we a Path of Exile 1 release next, I guess, right?
Yeah. So
hard to keep up. When's that one supposed to be? December?
I don't know. 2 months after this one came out, which might already be, I don't know how long it's been. 2 weeks, a month, I don't know.
Well, it would make sense it's October because then 2 months later is December, which I feel like that's when they want to do their Path 2 release. So I'm assuming there's another Path 1 release coming out in October.
So we know what we're talking about for After Dark today. After Darkers get to hear about Path of Exile 1 PL.
Is the talk scheduling whether or not we're going to do a Path of Exile 1 326 privately? Is that the idea then?
Well, it's an easy yes for me. No reason not to. Doesn't interest me. Like I haven't played, like my filter hasn't been updated. I'm like, I don't even know if I'd play it kind of thing. Or I could just wing it and then not care, which, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll wing it and not care.
That feels like fun.
But I have to remember though, that's not cross compatible. Like there's so many things that already I take for granted with the differences and greatness of Path of Exile 2. Sure, lots of criticism, but we'll get into some of the cool stuff that they announced this week too. But, like already, like we talk about all the nitpicky things, which I guess aren't nitpicky. It's just, it's great to have opinions while something's going through great change, like a beta, and they're willing and aspiring to just make the game the best that it can be without being this typical stick in the muds that they were like 5, 6, 7 years ago regarding certain things. And not in a negative way. It's just, this is the way they wanted to make the game and they're not going to change it. Referring to Path 1 quite a few years ago.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Too. I have no idea what I was talking about. We just had like a 30-second gap there where Justin's like hoping I remember what I was talking about.
We talked about the private leagues. I don't remember where you were going with it.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Oh, private you playing would how mean you play.
PC only because already
right.
I'm taking for granted that there's like no couch co-op. There's no cross compatibility. There's nothing like that. Like I can't just sit down at the computer and then decide to play on. Yeah, like I have to take away from my wife's precious PC time. And so anyway, I will, of course, because PL's PL, but I'll wing it because I'm not even up to date on my Filterland stuff, and I'm probably not going to continue it. So, but for Path 1. So
well,
yeah,
why don't we say
yes, and then we'll just figure out stuff in AD.
If you do want to ever play in our private leagues, it's all Discord related. So pop into our Discord, say hello. It's a very fun place to be. Also, middle of the podcast, don't forget to hit 5-star on Spotify. Thank you. All right, what do we got this week in PoE?
But if you were going to click 4-star instead of clicking 4-star. No, just
there's only a 5-star.
Just message us and be like, what would really make you 5-star?
Yeah.
And we'll be like, oh, we totally promise we'll do that.
We've never heard that before. Thank you.
All right.
All right. What do we got?
This week in PoE, Justin, we had, oh man, I hate the new Trello. Just wait. All right. There was patch notes for Path 1 and the Third Edict mystery box is now available.
Is there
patch
not?
Notes?
I thought that it was odd that I thought that their mystery boxes were all up to date, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I don't know.
Cool.
I'm not spending anything until all my MTX are ready to go.
Oh, that's going to be a while.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will. I just don't know what. I feel like I'm more inclined to spend on PoE 1 though lately. The last time I played the PoE 1 private league, our private league, is when I was like, oh man, I'm itching to buy some MTX stuff. I honestly can't remember. What was 326? The one where you got a buddy that played with you? Is that 326?
You talking those like mercenary guys?
Yeah. Is that the Xana changes, like Endgame? Was that the last one? Was it the newest?
I think that's 326.
Okay, I love that one. Good Lord. I cannot remember now with these two games. Okay. Anyway, cool.
And then couple Path 2 and but that, I mean, the patch notes was just getting ready for the MTX and stuff like that. Path 2, boss rush event, fan art card petition, and Zizern's got a thingy thing going on. Cool. And then there was a boss versus boss video. It was couple versus couple. Super duper for some reason, and I used to love those. And I still do in theory, but I never click on them anymore.
You don't watch them? I didn't watch these ones.
I don't know. I'm probably just grumpy and old now.
Definitely are.
So, the patch notes for the game, a couple small things, but big things to those that it impacts. So super duper is just one small little, what was it? 3.0C hotfix 2. But there was a very big announcement today.
Was it today?
Sorry, this week. And it says Path of Exile 2 major endgame changes. Now, the video says something different than what the thumbnail of the video says. But still, there's some really cool changes happening to endgame in Path 2. And they were going to make 4.40 a big endgame patch. But they figured they're doing so much, they may as well add what they can now without the content that a league needs.
Well, so before even getting to the content, I think that's a good talking point, and I think that's awesome. I think that I love that they want to try and do this 4-month cycle, 2 months of each, blah blah blah. But we're playing in a beta, and if they have something that they think will make the game better at the time, I would rather see them come out with it as they come out with it. I know that they want to try and keep this schedule of league releases, but and fine, that's great to do it. But I love this that they go, hey, we've got something that's going to, I mean, they are very much shaking up the end game with this change. So I appreciate that they're coming out with it. I also think that it's better for them to do that because they've got time for players to test it. I'm not sure that everything that I saw in that video and have read is like a permanent change, which I think is great because they're making some 180 changes on a lot of stuff where they're just picking a different direction and going with it. So I like it.
I completely agree. Whether or not like the specifics of it work better or worse. I mean, this is very much going more towards Path of Exile 1, right? Especially when you had, what were those circular things that you would put in? They got rid of them, but there were these circles you would put into your, what were they called? There was bronze, silver, and gold ones in number one, and they would impact all your maps. What were they called?
Oh, I remember that a long time ago.
Compasses?
Jesus.
No,
I can't remember what they were. Wasn't that a long time ago? Are you talking like way long ago?
It's been a bit. And then they converted them all into one variety, one rarity of them. There used to be like a bronze, silver, gold. They weren't called bronze, silver, gold, but they had those colors. And they were like these coils. They looked like coils that you would put in. Maybe they were compasses. I don't know.
Man, I can't remember.
Anyway, and they would impact. It's almost like they're going back to that. Right? Where it's just you put these things in. But either way, well, the two things I want to point out, whether this game is making something that's specific to what your preferences are, not you're referring to the greater community, not specifically you, but to everybody, they're willing to make changes mid-league, which I think is great. Like you said, it's beta. They're not waiting 4 months to make big changes. I mean, there's some things that they are saving for the sake of having content for a reveal like they would for a normal league, but it's mid-league, and they're getting rid of the functionality of towers completely from Endgame. Just there it is. They're giving you a heads up. Of course, the patch hasn't come out yet, but that's what they're going to do. That's amazing.
I mean, they're still there, but yeah.
Right. So that's the thing that I wanted to say. There's another thing that I wanted to say. I think sorry, I'm stuttering a bit. No matter the direction the company's going in terms of an individual, a fan's preference for the direction of the game, when a game is in beta, a company that's willing to change everything and anything for the betterment of the game is the exact thing a player wants. So again, irrelevant to the preferences of the direction, a company that is willing to change something for the betterment of the game, no matter what, like this is a big deal. Like if you're doing this, you're almost at the point where you don't need the 3D map anymore. You probably keep it because of the investment of time that it went into it. But to get rid of like towers and radius and stuff like that, what's the point of a 3D map?
Well, there is still a point in like the sense of nexuses, finding the areas that are whatever they call them, corrupted, finding the moments of Zen, some of the other stuff. So,
but you could have done that on the 2D Atlas too for Path 1.
Not really.
It would work similar to the amoeba influence that you had with Shaper and Elder. Like essentially, it's the same thing now. You're chasing certain
things. You are chasing like these premium bosses or whatever they're called, powerful bosses. You're still looking for certain unique scenarios that you can find within them. I do like that I can't remember, what does the tower do now when you click it? Because you can still, it drops a precursor tablet.
But so it'll take some getting, for me, it's going to take some playing around to fully understand the changes because I didn't have too much time in Endgame. But the clip art, the thumbnail for the video says towers gone. But then in the video, they're not saying towers are gone. They're just saying the current functionality for towers is now completely different and not as same thing. Primary.
Any player that's played and gotten frustrated though with towers will completely understand that that's what they're referencing, is that the use of towers is gone now.
Sure. For me, without a lot of endgame experience, towers gone means I'm not even looking for towers anymore. They're not even there. I'm looking
which
for
you don't
other
have to
things.
look for them, but
Now, I don't know how I feel about this, but it's not about a criticism. It's just there was part of me that was kind of excited for a bit of a change. And that change was I was getting used to the idea of having map completion be about rares. Okay, got to find all the rares. Okay, well, rares are a huge part of the game. A lot of the time, you plan your build around, especially in Path 1, you plan your build not around the bosses you're going to fight, but around the dumb combinations of rares and rare modifiers, including rare modifier base types. Throw all that together. If you can handle rares in the game, you can handle anything in Path 1. So that's kind of what you build your character around inadvertently. And so to all of a sudden have a whole bunch of maps, 90% of your maps revolve around defeat all the rares for map completion. That's okay. It takes some getting used to. I'm always about the boss fights, right? I love the metamorph, build your own boss kind of thing. And always building my Atlas to boss benefits because that's just my favorite part. That's where meaningful combat comes from. Reactionary, one-on-one, big deal bosses. That's even why I liked Anarchy with the, what are those? What are they called? They're in Path 2 too. What are they called? The little guys that run around and they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, those guys. I just like those bigger fights, right? One-on-one fights. But so I'm getting used to the idea of rares only in Path 2, and I'm like, okay, I can get used to this. And then you get really excited for an epic boss fight. But even though I don't like half the boss fights in Path 1 or Path 2, GGG takes a lot of pride in their boss fights. So that's kind of the opposite for you are really proud of the hundreds of bosses you have, but I'm seeing them 1 out of every 10 maps kind of thing, right? With the exception of focusing on something specific. Again, I'm not used to endgame, therefore endgame strategy. And out of nowhere, again, this is mid-league, every map now is like Path 1 again. Did you hear my stomach? Oh, then it won't show up. Oh, all right. Well, it sounded like a fart anyway, but it was my stomach, and I wanted to make sure you knew that. But every map now is about defeating the boss. Every map has a boss, and map completion is about the boss, and the rares are just there. So it's, again, very much like Path 1. Not a bad thing. It was just I was in the process of still getting used to the idea of, okay, yeah, let's try this out. Bosses are extra epic now because they're so rare, and defeating all the rares is the primary focus of a build now. So now it's back to the boss thing. And again, they have so many bosses to deal with and to all that kind of stuff. And like, I like the direction that this is going. I think I preferred the Path 1 one, but my heart was willing to be open for the new Path 2 experience. So I'm curious how difficult that was for whoever it was or the group of people at GGG to really be excited for the rare only experience, especially because they're putting a lot more effort into what combination of mods can roll together and what combination of mods can roll with certain enemy base types. Hopefully that attention still matters to them when map completion is no longer based on rare enemies. So hopefully they still put that attention to detail there. But I wonder how difficult that was to change something so substantial, both for the towers, which is very new, and for what map completion is.
So I never liked the kill all the rares as the completion, but it was a very interesting strategy for them. And kudos to them for trying it out and seeing how it works. I think my biggest struggle with it was just the way that their layouts were on the maps. It was very hard to find them, and then you're bouncing around trying to get to them. The thing is, here's why I like this change. When you're mapping, in general, when you're mapping, your goal is to get to the tier 15s and to progress to the hardest stuff, because that's where you're going to get the best loot and the biggest challenge. So if I have to loop around to try and find this one rare that's remaining, it's exhausting. If my whole goal is just to progress this atlas and move forward to the next point, all I want to do.
Cons, yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, like, loot is based around the rares. So when you get to those tier 15s, it matters less by the time you get to there, because I want to fly through the map. I want to kill as much as I can. But the fact is, the rares are where I'm going to find my loot most likely. The boss is great now, because bosses are an awesome way to make sure you're sustaining waystones. But I would rather have it that if I'm going to have to progress through this map anyway, I'm going to find the boss, because that's just the nature of progressing through a map. But at least I know that when I hit this one end and I missed a rare back there, I don't have to go and try and find that rare. I think it's a really cool move, and kudos to them for trying it out for whatever it is, 3 leagues before, because there was a lot of pressure early. Like, they probably had more pressure early on than they have right now about, what are you doing? This rare thing, we don't like it. It's new. So their pressure in the beginning for them sticking through it and going like, well, let's just try it. I think that's great, because at the beginning, PoE players were not used to having to chase down all the rares in order to complete a map. It didn't make any sense. We'd been so trained to go and kill a boss before you move on.
Big kudos to them, giving it 9-10 months before they made a change back to the familiar. Again, maybe the familiar is the better route, sure, overall, but they didn't make a knee-jerk reaction because of any uproar at the beginning. They gave it who can criticize them for going back to the original way when they gave it 9 or 10 months? You know what I mean? One thing that I think they should do, and I know the wiki, Path 1 wiki, I assume the Path 2 wiki is also paid for by them, not updated by them, but paid for by them. But one thing that I would really like is, so they have comments in their patch notes, like these kind of things drop from these people, or these kind of things now have this kind of rarity based on this or that in terms of drops. I would love that to be updated specifically by GGG on the wiki, because what kind of waystones can drop, or how many tiers above a certain monster level, that kind of stuff is so important. And for it to be ambiguous or unsure to a player is it's tough to think that something's happening but not know for sure. And I think when you're making these changes, of course it's beta, so who cares about that now, but once the game comes out, something like, okay, so bosses can drop this amount of tiers higher, this item level higher than the current monster level, or these specific items, if it's based on uniques or something like that. And then rares can drop this item level higher than what they currently are and are guaranteed this. And, so for example, we've been a part of the process, but a rare strong box is guaranteed to drop a rare item, whereas a rare monster currently is not. That kind of stuff, like for them to be in complete control of the drops page on the wiki, I think would be absolutely vital. Of course, after they've already made all their decisions and figured things out and how it's all going to work. And again, this is beta, so now's not the time. But I would love that, because now that bosses are the focal point and you no longer are required to kill any quantity of rares to complete the map, you can complete the map as fast as you want and just move on. And in terms of that, they also changed, what was it, their 15 biggest map sizes, and kind of made it all similar to Path of Exile 1 veterans. So for you listeners that are only playing Path 2, this isn't going to make a lot of sense, but in Path 1, they have ratios based on, okay, this is the size of map. This map's a lot smaller, so we're changing the ratio of monsters and this and that. And they dramatically changed monster ratios in this patch too. Mid-league, again. It's just, it changes so much for the user. And it'd be really cool for the user eventually, again, once the game comes out, to know what to expect from certain fights, whether it's rare, unique, or specific unique. You know what I mean? Monster, that is.
Yeah. I think that there is some information out there, but I have no idea if it's come directly from grinding gear games or just from testing that people have figured out. Because I know that I've had conversations with people about what tier can drop on bosses, and it seems very PoE 1. It seems very similar to what PoE 1 was, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, then also, because now they've added the complexity of, this isn't just an item level, but it's an item level tier 4. You know what I mean? So anyway.
Well, the tier 4 just means you're going to, yeah. I know.
Yeah, but it'd be cool for that to actually be governed by them and making sure that's up to date, instead of requiring users just, oh, shoot, out of these 10,000 posts, I think this one's the most recent one where they commented on this patch. Yeah, now this has changed. You know what I mean? I think that's too vital of a page to leave different. But that's a complete side note. It's just, there was so much changing in that regards that for people that actually know how drops work, it'll be interesting to see the focus and all of that, right?
I mean,
how
in
that
the
changes
end, just
and what's
do the
going
highest
on.
tier you can do. You want to do the highest tier you can do to get the best gear you can. Their changes to the way that you use the tablets is weird to me. And I'm curious to see how that part works. This is one. What's that?
No, you keep talking. I'm going to try and find something on the original Path 1 wiki, though. So you keep talking, but there's something I got to try and find.
Related to this?
Yeah.
My concern with the tablets is the tablets have, so your map is almost treated like the towers used to be. 1 second. When you put your map in now, it's treated almost similar to how.
I found it. Keep talking.
No, what did you find?
Sextants.
Okay, cool.
You remember those in Path 1?
You would apply them to the Atlas. Yeah. Putting the tablets in when you put your map in now, and have being limited to how many tablets you can run based on how many modifiers are on the map. I don't know how I feel about that one, because it means that in order to experience 3 tablets worth of content, so maybe you're wanting to throw on a breach and a expedition and whatever, delirium, you have to run a full 6-tier map, which is maybe fine when you're like endgame built, like you're really, really endgame built. But 6-tier modifiers, first off, they're risky because you get one try, right? The portal system is based off of the amount of mods that are on the map. So when you run a 6-tier map, you have one way in. As soon as you die, you can't go back out. Yeah. And my concern, and now you're putting bosses as the completion, which the boss fights are phenomenal. I love their bosses, but you're also now 6 modding that boss with whatever else is on it. So like, it's really cool. I do like the idea of it. The one good thing, and the fact that they've made such massive changes with this mid-league, that's why I feel like this is just a lot of testing, which I'm all for it. I think that's great. Like, let us run this for another 6 or 8 months, and then they sort of maneuver around what they think works and what doesn't. I don't know that this is the final fix for it, because it just seems like, I know that I could do what they're suggesting on one of my builds. And anybody that's listening that plays a lightning arrow Deadeye would probably agree. It's insanely strong. It's very easy. I could run all of it, but I couldn't on my I certainly couldn't on the other builds that I'm trying to play. I would not be able to do 6 modded and then throw on these 3 different tablets into it. So I do like the idea of it because I hate towers. I think I said it even last week that I hate the idea of trying to find towers, how they overlap, and then I have to be stuck in that little area. That's just not, it wasn't for me. So I love that this change is sort of remove that and I can just play the Atlas however I want. I really hope they do a big pass to the Atlas passives, but I think it's cool. It's a good direction. I'm glad that the towers aren't what they were before. I'm just curious to see how tablets work where you're putting them based on the modifier. I don't really know why I don't know why. Like, why are you restricting me to play
the limitation in general? Yeah.
So maybe they have a reason for it. I don't know what it is. That doesn't totally make sense to me. Like, I feel like you could remove that. There's no reason for it, but yeah, it's going to be fun to try it out. Yeah.
Well, but now you're running into the question again of portals. Okay, so this like 1, 2, 3, like they started off with like one try and you're done no matter what system. But now they still have the portal restriction based on how difficult the game is. You get less and less tries. Okay, sure.
But only I lose the portal.
Yes.
Which is different from PoE 1 because if I went back to like dump off stuff, I lost a portal.
Right.
You don't.
So I do love that. I love that. I hope they don't get rid of that no matter what. But now they're running into a situation where how you juice maps is totally different. And now it's almost unless you are godly confident in your build, you don't want to really juice your maps too much. You're possibly going to be playing on the safer side unless you're not worried about the amount of investment you have because you have oodles of investment waiting to be used already. So depending on how difficult that investment is to come by and the mods you want and are hoping for, they might be putting themselves in a position, again, that could be just based on balance, but they might be putting themselves in a position where people don't want to really juice their maps anymore because they'd rather have the possibility of, okay, I want
one death, at least one. Give me one.
Sure. But now you're in a chance, okay, so I'm going to reduce the difficulty a bit to have a little bit less chance of drops. But if I stay alive for the whole map, I have a better chance at drops. As opposed to risking, oh, shoot, yeah, sure, my drop chance is great, but now I have to play super safe and super slow. Again, I know elite players are elite players, but I'm never considering them. Like when you're making Path 2 for the general masses, you're making it for the general masses, not just the elite players. And so what's the idea? Something like this, unless you're going with crazy attention to balance, I just see it going back to a 6 portal system.
I don't care if it's a 6 portal system, but Path of Exile has never been, and I don't think ever will be, a 1 portal game. There's not enough clarity in what's happening on the screen, on the ground, and around you to be able to say that you have one shot at this map. They're nowhere near that, and they won't ever be near that. That I know that visual clarity is an important part for them, which I appreciate, but the fact is it's never clear enough to make it a 1 portal thing. So for me, in a 1 portal thing, it's no big deal right now. Like, I'll run the 6 mods because my build is very strong with it, and if I lose it, oh well, I do another one. But
you bring up an awesome point, because even though they are working on off-screen damage, which I love, and they're working on like surprise damage and, like you said, visual clarity, and even what we say like after death damage, like they are working on that, and I love that. But then they add Abyss, and for some reason Abyss does not follow any of those hopes and dreams. The amount of off-screen damage that comes from Abyss monsters, the amount of surprise damage that comes from, the amount of like out of no, like if you're fighting one-on-one, you can see when this monster is going to do this effect that's on the ground, like the fire that bursts straight up out of the ground. If you're fighting one-on-one, you can see when they're doing the animation, but when there's 30 enemies on your screen, that just shows up without the time to react. Like, it goes against, it's very Path of 1-ish Abyss. It's not Path of Exile 2-ish, you know what I mean? In terms of the mentality they use to create this stuff. And then you add many of the map layouts that they have, where so many of them have choke points, but not just a small choke point, like a really long choke point. You have all these enemies that are off screen or near the range, out of range, where it's like, I just can't even get through this choke point here. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's not made for the maps, and it wasn't made for Path 2. And you add that kind of Path of Exile 1 mentality versus Path of Exile 2 mentality to a 1 portal system. And I agree. I don't think they're at a stage there where they're used to controlling their game enough where they could do a one portal game. Not saying
comes out
game,
next
but
week?
just like, I don't know, whenever. I'm sure like they don't normally do a patch announcement and then make you wait 2 weeks, but it's not out
next
yet.
week. I mean, it's good timing because I'm sort of starting to get tired of Borderlands, so that it'd be fun to go and try this out. I think it's cool. It's cool direction. It's fun to see them switch things up, and that's what the beta's for, to sort of mess around and figure things out. And I love that they didn't just hold on to this until 0.4. I think that's great because they could have. They definitely could have. So I love that they're doing this mid league.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool.
Agreed. So looking forward to it. Like this is the beginning of a lot of changes, and so if they're willing to do this now, they're not just going to be releasing like cool, neat league features for 0.4. Like 0.4 is going to be huge. You can assume.
Give me my freaking
Probably
druid.
not. Well, yeah, like people have been hoping. They're like, no, it wasn't ready yet. But just like the, no, it's not ready yet kind of thing. It gave you the impression they were close, but it wasn't close enough kind of
You know
thing.
how much pressure they probably feel under now with their druid?
Probably
like
a
the
lot.
feeling of needing to make sure that druid, because it was shown to us forever ago.
A year ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Even before we were invited to LA. So now we have a situation where if they don't come out with it in December, that's a whole year of beta without the druid. But they already have shape-shifting in the game, just like, demon form and that kind of stuff, right? So it's an interesting, and again, like no pressure from us, but obviously
but yes, pressure.
Can assume the, yeah, we're excited. Show us what the intro trees are for the Templar, please. Because that's where I assume the only other minion intro clusters are going to have minion damage or minion nodes, right? The Templar. Because my big criticism right now is like, I feel forced to be a witch with minions. And those 3 ascendancies, I think, are trash for minions. Like, you can come up with stuff to play with minions, but none of them are exciting for someone who's hoping just for minions. Again, I like how generic they are. Like, there's not a minion ascendancy. But when I think of playing minions, I'm like, oh, the Fire Lady, the Blood Lady, and the Lich. They all kind of suck. I like
now
the
you got
Lich,
an extra Lich, though. There's 2 Liches.
Yeah. Sweet. But so anyway, like 0.4 is going to be huge, but it's not just going to be, hey, here's your new league. Like, I'm really curious what other end game changes and modifications they have that they're saving for 0.4 that aren't this. Like, it's still going to be huge. Like, think about how big 0.3 was. All the crazy change. They completely changed support gems, and they're willing to do this without like an announcement. It's crazy. Not an announcement. Crazy. Of course they made an announcement, but like not like press hype and all that and making it a big part of their promo, right? So I'm excited. I think it's cool. Really cool. And I'm very excited for the changes too.
Sweet. All right. We good?
Yeah. By the way, Justin, you'll never climb the corporate ladder.
It's so funny the way he says it too. It's just like this cartoony, just very aggressive. Anyway, Forever Exiled 312. I'm Justin AK Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons, will see you in After Dark. Everybody else, we'll see you next week in 313. Have a great week. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We have a Discord. Pop in there. Say hello. And Patreon and other ways to support the podcast. You'll find them down below and around. Thanks.
Bye.